Hey cats and dogs, Ed Shoehead Bud here. It's time for another episode of the famous running shoe yay or nay. Welcome to my strange corner of the interweb. Here we focus on foot fortification in the form of running shoes, and occasionally talk about other stuff that's associated with running, musical interludes, music, bit of guitar here and there, you know the drill. In this show we discuss forthcoming running shoes, might be new releases or recent releases, and as to if I'm going to pick them up for review, but I'll also give you my reasons behind my decision. It's not me saying that a running shoe is amazing or terrible, how do I know until I put it on foot, but I will give you my reasons why I'm not going to pick one up or whether I'm really looking forward to getting hold of it. I hope that clears things up a little bit. Anyhow, without further ado, let's get to it. First shoe up today is the Asics Dynablast 2. I think the first iteration of the shoe I picked up sadly has been left to collect the dust in a closet somewhere with a handful of miles on it. It really didn't glue with me, that shoe. Glue with me? It really didn't gel with me, that shoe. No pun intended. It was a reasonable enough offering, but I think the overly aggressive 12mm heel-to-toe drop might have had something to do with it. I think at the time I just had loads of other more versatile shoes that I just wanted to get out and run in. You've got to want to run in a shoe, haven't you? And this one just didn't really make me feel that it was providing any sort of benefit. It appears though Asics have lowered that drop in the Dynablast 2, it's down to 8mm now. I think the other major issue that I have with Asics daily shoes is that they run really long. I find that in a lot of models I'm between an 11 and an 11.5, but in Asics I can easily go down a half size in their daily offerings. So I think if I was going to pick up this one, I'd definitely go a half down to UK 10.5. I think the 12mm drop probably put off a lot of people from trying out the Dynablast. I was hoping it was going to be a lower stack version of the Novablast, something with a little bit more stability but some of the same attributes. It has the same Flight Foam Blast midsole material, but it just didn't feel the same at all. Looks like weight is around about the same as the first version of the Dynablast, and the price remains the same too at 110 Earth Credits UK. I still think I've got shoes that have a significant advantage over this one. The Liberate Nitro from Puma, for example, lower weight, a little bit more responsive. So I think the Dynablast 2 for me is a little bit too close for the Novablast 2 that I've only just picked up. And I'm really enjoying this shoe, so I think it would just get left on the shelf until I get 100 miles into this one, or more. As such, it's going to be a nay from me on this occasion for the Dynablast 2. Remember to hit that subscribe button, but also click that bell for notifications when we launch those new videos for you. And if you're enjoying the video so far, please give it a thumbs up like. Danke schön. Shoe 2 is the possible Nike Pegasus 39. So these leaked photos have been circulating for a little while showing this possible Pegasus model. It does look a little bit to me like it could be a Boston 10 Pegasus. Catch my drift? I guess we'll start with the upper first, which looks very similar to that that's featured on the current Vaporfly Next Percent 2 model that was released earlier on this year. Of course, we don't have the offset lacing on this model, whatever it is, and there's some additional overlays there that surround the heel and the ankle area. Even the soft suede pieces from around the top of the ankle collar remain the same in this model as per the upper on the Vaporfly Next Percent 2. We have a vastly more padded tongue here though, don't we? It appears to have a concentration of that cushioned material right around the last eyelets just before you lace up the shoe. And then we have a strip of padding all the way round the ankle and the back of the heel there. We've seen something very similar in the top line models, the Alpha Fly, and also the Next Percent. I think it's also similar to that in the Tempo Next Percent as well. The thing that's got everybody excited about these leaked images though is the appearance of that ZOOMX logo on the lower portion of the midsole. It does look to me like there are two sections to this midsole unit, but I wonder just as to how much of that foam is underfoot or cupped up around the foot. And of course, what these foams actually are, we just don't know. Nike in the past have put ZOOMX onto a section of the Pegasus Turbo that was actually React. So let's not jump to any conclusions here. Looking at that yellow section from the underside of the shoe, I believe that that could be crushed up ZOOMX. Very similar to that we've seen in some of Nike's casual shoes and also the insole of the original Tempo Next Percent. So I think they're using ZOOMX, but I think it's going to be in a slightly different form. Quite interesting if they're going to chop up all the additional pieces and sort of mold them together and have that as the core of the shoe. I mean, they've done it in some casual models, so why not use it in some sort of daily trainer? But what is the other foam going to be that kind of encases that or cages the ZOOMX in? Could it be that SR02 foam that we've seen recently in the Vomero 16? They also used that in the Joyride model as well last year. Could it be React even? I don't know. It would make for a rather heavy shoe, I think. So the other foam could be like a cradle or just a carrier for that ZOOMX material. I'm just speculating now, but I think this shoe could be something similar to that Vomero 16 implementation of ZOOMX that we've seen recently, but with a lighter and far more breathable upper. I mean, it makes sense for Nike to utilize ZOOMX, which is their flagship foam, in some of their daily shoes. Other brands are doing it, so why not Nike? We've seen Adidas utilizing Lightstrike Pro in models, well, down to the Adios 6. And with New Balance, they've implemented their fuel cell material into some shoes like the Prism or the Rebel 2. They're at much more accessible price points. Outsole 2 here is a total departure from what we normally see on a Pegasus shoe. Typically we have those stretched out lugs, which is perhaps another reason why this might be a Pegasus Pro model rather than a Pegasus 39. Can we believe the text at the bottom of the image? Well, we just don't know, do we? We shall have to wait and see. I think with my recent enjoyment of the Air Zoom Vomero 16, with that incorporated ZOOMX within the midsole, then whatever Pegasus this is, it's got to be a yay from me, whenever it comes out. Could be ages away yet. Shoe 3. Next up, we're going to talk about the New Balance PESU, or I want it to be called the PESU. Maybe that's how we're supposed to pronounce it, I'm not sure. This appears that it's a new model from New Balance, so I have seen it reduced quite heavily in some retail outlets. Typical retail for this is 80 Earth Credits UK, but I've seen it down to about 50 already. So this offering from New Balance reminds me a little bit of some of HOKA's offerings that have one of those EVA ground contact midsoles. Here you've got some ground contact midsole and a little bit of rubber as well on the outsole. So perhaps a New Balance take on the Rincon, for example. New Balance call this midsole the Dynasoft foam, and by all accounts it's quite an ultra responsive ride. Heard that before, haven't we? A relatively meagre stack here with a profile, certainly in the ankle there, that's very reminiscent of the Fuel Cell TC. The tongue and the profile of the shoe overall just are very similar to that shoe. I think you'll agree with me. I haven't tried this foam out on any other shoes thus far, but I think it might be a good option if you're looking for something that's a bit more lightweight and something with a bit more ground response and feel. Not everybody wants gallons of cushion, do they? As I say though, these don't seem to be shifting at all, and there's quite a lot of discount already. As such, it doesn't really bring an awful lot new to the table for me, so it's going to be a nay. Shoe 4. Last up today is the HOKA ZINAL. So we've got the classics here, low weight, low stack. A trail beast here from HOKA that's really aimed at responsive feel rather than gallons of gluttonous cushion. It uses that same Pro Fly midsole material that we've seen on the HOKA Mach 4. That's a shoe that's palatable but nothing special really. It's no firework display. But that's okay. Seems like the majority of the weight has been afforded towards the midsole and outsole material. Durable Vibram on the outsole, which makes for an interesting combination here between midsole material and outsole rubber. The shoe features that almost obligatory HOKA 5mm drop, and HOKA reckon it's about 242 grams in that standard US size 9. I've got to be honest, I've got too many trail offerings right now to warrant picking this one up. Got the Saucony Endorphin Trail, and also two of those Innovate shoes as well to grind some more miles into. When you consider as well that this one comes in at 140 Earth Credits UK, that kind of hammers the final nail into the coffin on this one for me. I can't warrant picking up another trail shoe like that. If you were running trails day in, day out, I think it could be a goer, but for me it's just overkill right now. So it's a nay from me on the HOKA ZINAL. What do you make of the 4 shoes that I've featured in today's video, guys? Is it a yay or nay? Let me know in the comments below. I mean, do you think that Pegasus 39 image really is the Peg 39, the successor to this shoe? Or is it something altogether different? Certainly a good talking point. A quick musical interlude for you. Back in 1999, a fantastic band, Doves, released their debut album called Lost Souls. A really interesting group because I think they'd previously been in a electronic or dance outfit, and they'd decided to learn to play other instruments and kind of start a band and make some music in that fashion. Now there's one track on this album that is an absolute winner, which I think is their best tune, which is track 4 called The Sea Song. I remember hearing this, I think it was even like a B-side or something on one of their singles. And it's just amazing. Wonderful vocal mixed with this kind of churning, atmospheric, driving sort of rhythm. Almost like a wall of sound style sea shanty. There's some other great tracks on there, but yeah, Sea Song is always one that sends a shiver down my spine. Like I remember when I first heard it, I remember being with somebody, they bought it in Bath in a record shop there. A small little independent record shop. Remember those? Sadly depleted now. Please go and check this one out, guys. By Doves, it's called The Sea Song. Probably good long run material, I think. Okay, thanks for sticking with me to the end of the video today, guys. It's always appreciated. If you haven't done so already, please hit that subscribe button and click the bell below for notifications when we launch those new videos for you. And it really helps the channel out too if you give this video a thumbs up like and share it with your running buddies. My name's EDDBUD, and I'll be seeing you